Hi, I'm Mark, and in this video, I'm going to show you 10 different road ideas that you can build. Each of these road ideas is unique, but there are some similarities between them. Now, building cool roads can make a big difference in your own builds or those on a server. So let's get started. This first one here is my go-to build. What this is stone staircases and some cobblestone down the middle. Now, if you notice, the cobblestone is at the bottom of the staircases, so obviously it's got to be half slabs, or slabs, depending on who you talk to. These slabs will bring it down to that level. The cool thing is, this will prevent mobs from spawning as well. So you don't have to worry about a bunch of mobs on your roadway. They can't spawn on the center, they can't spawn on the staircase, so basically you're not creating a mob spawning area when you build this one. Now the next one is that same roadway, but this time in brick. Now you can see what a big difference. I mean, I can see this running through some type of medieval build. I can see this running through a colonial area, or maybe something that's done in a European style. So exact same build, but a totally different look. So keep that in mind. Any one of these roads that I show you can be built with different materials and you'll get a totally different look out of it. Let's move on. This is a simple gravel road. Now we could just put down gravel, but you'll notice I put some cobblestone along the outside edges as well. These type of edges can really improve the look of your builds. It's not a big deal. It's a fairly minor improvement, but it really does make a difference in how things look. Plus you get that little sound when you walk across it. I don't know how much I would like to build this one. It's just not my style, but maybe it's something that would work good for your builds. Now moving on, here's a really rustic style. This is coarse dirt, so it'll never ever grow anything. So we can walk along this and have little tire tracks and maybe tractor tracks. And what really helps us is to plant all of the weeds and flowers and things like that around it. Now I didn't like the flowers, so I took them out. I killed every one of them. But you can see it looks really nice, especially get a little altitude here. Doesn't that look great? So it's a nice rustic road to go through a meadow or through the woods. This next one is all out of wood. Now this is a great boardwalk down by a beach or through a swamp or something like that. This one's a little expensive, especially because of these side blocks here. But it is a cool look, especially if you build it for a long way along a riverside or ocean side. So definitely something to keep in mind. Next up is the old-fashioned blacktop with the yellow lines. Now I didn't build this one very big, so the dimensions just feel a little bit off. But this is a cool one to build if you've got a modern type of build, something that definitely screams asphalt. There's a joke in there somewhere. Anyhow, it's just black wool and yellow wool. It's yellow wool. And what I would recommend is basically making the road a little wider. But again, I didn't want to spend all that time making it wider when I could give you the exact idea of what this is going to look like without going through that. So that's a pretty cool one. Next up is this one. Now this is based similarly on the one I did at the beginning. I heard a bat. Okay. But the difference with this one is these blocks are on top. So you will have a spawning area down the center here, but these blocks will prevent it along the edges. This is just a different look. Instead of being all below the surface, we've brought something up above the surface. Relatively cheap to build, and a unique look, and it may work perfectly for something you're building. Now this one is only available in creative. Now the reason I say that is because you'd have to be nuts to try to harvest this much quartz out of the nether in a survival game. But this is all quartz. And imagine you're doing like a Parthenon build or a Greek build. This would be really cool. And what I did is these are pillars along the edge for these vertical stripes. These are chiseled quartz blocks, slabs, and quartz blocks. So you end up with this really, really great look. But again, Unfortunately, it's beyond most of us to get it in survival. This next one is a totally different way of doing things. This is cobblestone with cobblestone fence. This is great for keeping mobs from coming in. So if you throw a torch on here, on any one of these, or anywhere on the fence for that matter, let me show you real quick what that looks like. So we'll grab a torch here. If you've never done this before, I got to be able to see it. If you've never done this before, watch what happens to the fence. So it'll pop up that little post right there. The cool thing is, those will light the center and keep the mobs from spawning, and the fences will keep the mobs out. So you can run this through the middle of nowhere and not have to worry about mobs getting on the road. It's a nice looking and fairly inexpensive road, and it does work pretty well. And finally, my little gift to you, this is the Melon Road. Those are pumpkins, these are melons, and you end up with the Melon Road. Now, the reason I built this was just to be goofy, but it actually looks kind of cool. So I don't know what I would use this in, but it definitely has a cool look to it, especially if you're building in creative. But even in survival, getting a bunch of melons isn't that difficult. So that's about all I've got. These are 10 different road ideas that you'll want to consider. There are a lot more. A few tweaks and dial-ins on these, and you can make them look totally different. So give them a try. Now, if you like this video, please leave a like or leave a comment. More than anything, subscribe. I'd like to see you again. But if you didn't like it, keep that to yourself. Thanks for watching.